Good afternoon, everybody. Man, it's a beautiful day. The locusts are back out, but the season's getting ready to change, so we won't hear the locusts anymore. But man, it's beautiful out right now. You know, sometimes just getting outside, out of your office or out of the house or wherever you're at, sometimes just being outside and feeling the fresh air can make all the difference in the world. Hearing the birds and the bugs and stuff. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I appreciate all the followers. You know, I've been noticing on YouTube and our Facebook page where we post these videos. Really appreciate it. And you know, like again, all we're trying to do is help people out there. So, and if it can help your racing, that's awesome. Again, anything we talk about you can apply to life. So let's go ahead and get started. So we've been doing this Moto Mind series, and sometimes our life is like a motocross race. There's a lot of obstacles, and sometimes it can be tough, and it's really tough if you don't have authority over your thinking or your thoughts. You know, I'll repeat myself, but you know, we spend a lot of money on buying motocross helmets. We do that for a reason, to protect our head. But really our life comes down to being victorious or a life of defeat based upon what's inside that helmet or what's inside our head, our mind. That's where the real battle is. You know, a lot of times we feel like our battle is against flesh and blood or a person, but you know, really our battle is invisible. It's in our mind. That's where the real battle lies, is inside of our mind, our soul realm. And if we can learn to deal with those battles, it helps everything in your life. Just your day-to-day living. You know, we're talking about motocross and racing here. And you know, again, you can have all the cardio, the fitness program, the nutrition program in the world. You could have the best equipment, the best coaches, the best mechanic money can buy, but if you don't have it going on up here inside your helmet, none of that matters. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. One of the things I want to talk about before I erase it is last time on Moto Mind number 4, we talked about this, and I just want to recap it real quick. This circle, this is your mind right here. This is what you're thinking about. This circle right here, pretend it's your air filter. Okay, the air filter allows air to come in, but it does not allow particulates or dust or debris to come into your motor. So pretend that our mind is like an air cleaner, right? Well, this is the choice you make. You have to filter things. This is a point at which, you know, whether it is what you're thinking about, how you're feeling, what your emotions are. Those feelings and emotions are generated by a number of ways. They're generated by a thought. They're generated by your senses, what you may see, what you may hear, how you may feel. It's going to create an emotion or a feeling. And with that, thoughts, plural, thoughts are going to follow that emotion or feeling or thought, singular. We cannot always control a thought. We cannot always control an emotion or a feeling. But what we can control is what we do with that thought or those feelings and emotions. And this is where we really have to grab a hold of what we're thinking about. And like this filter right here, this is the decision point in your life. This is where choices are made. And again, I can't repeat it enough. Nobody can do this but you. Your coach, your motocross coach, he can't do it. Your fitness trainer can't do it. Your wife can't do it. Your husband can't do it. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever cannot do it. They can influence you. I can influence you right now, but I can't make you do anything. Nor can I make my wife do anything, or her make me do anything. That's an individual decision. We can help each other and support each other. But at the end of the day, each one of us as individuals has to make a choice on what we want to do and how we want to live, if we want to live a life of victory or defeat. And nobody can do that but you. Nobody, if you start living a life of expecting others to feel your happiness, if you start living a life of you need external things or things or people to fulfill everything about you, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, or possibly those other people, whether it be a coach, whatever the case is. Now, you know, our families, we love our families, and I love my kids and my wife, and yeah, I'd be lost without them. But I'm talking about, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a day-to-day, I can't put all that on my wife to complete me. I can't put all that on my kids to complete me. We have to fill our own cup. In other words, we have to do what we need to do. Our coach can help us, but we have to help ourselves. Okay, so I kind of hope that makes sense. It's not meaning to sound insensitive, but I'm just trying to be real. So, you know, motocross is like that. So again, the filter right here, this filter, if this is our engine, we only want to let good things into our engine. This person over here is victorious. They live a life of belief. They have a strong foundation of belief. They have a belief system. They're very confident. And when they're not, they quickly recover and regain their composure and their focus, and their confidence comes back. They're very passionate, and they live a life of victory on the track as well as off the track. You know, but again, that's a choice down here. Nobody can do it for you but you. Somebody can influence you, and somebody can be a big part of your life. But at the end of the day, you must do that. And we're all influenced by people. I know I'm influenced by my folks, and you know, without their influence, I wouldn't be who I am. You know, but there's a point when you become an adult, you begin to establish your own personality traits and make up your own mind on different things in life. So anyway, this person over here is full of doubt. They got a lot of confidence issues. They're in fear a lot about everything, about whether I'm a good motocross racer. Should I do motocross? Should I do supercross? Do these pants make my ass look fat? Do these goggles look good on my helmet? I mean, I know some of those things are normal, but I'm talking about the extreme cases of it, where it actually, they live there. It controls them. They're never at peace, you know, because they're always in fear. They're always in fear that the rider next to them is better than they are. They're always in fear that the sponsor likes her or him better than me. That's a bad place to be. It's a bad place to compare yourself. It's just a bad place to be. But the reason is, going back to this filter, think of it as an air filter. They have a bad filter. They have holes in their filter. They're letting dirt and contaminants into their engine. Well, the engine, like your mind, begins to run poorly. This person over here stays in victory because he or she only feeds their engine good things. They feed their mind right things that are noble, things that are right and pure, things that are lovely, and they only think on those things. Person over here thinks on the opposite. Okay, I think I probably talked enough about that, but you may be asking, how does this correspond to motocross or racing? It has everything to do with racing. Everything that you do in life involves how you think. Again, you may have the best equipment in the world. You may have the best fitness trainer in the world. You may have the best or the fastest motorcycle in the world and the biggest sponsor. But if you don't have it right up here, that will all fall apart on you. So, you know, think of the big supercross race you go to, and you're in practice, you just can't seem to get the rhythm section down. Or maybe you can't get over a big triple. If you don't shake that off and renew your thinking, you're going to carry that over into your motos. You're going to carry that over into the main event, and you just won't compete to the level you're capable of. And it's all because of how you think. It's all based on what you focus on. I want to say something about that focus. There's so many distractions that can take your focus off. So it's really important that you think about what you're thinking about, okay? So you need to be focusing on the right things and thinking about what you're thinking about, okay? If what you're thinking about is giving you anxiety and stressing you out, you're probably thinking about the wrong thing. Now, I'm not saying that we should just go out and make a bunch of mistakes and not learn from them and just say, oh, whatever. No, you should learn from your mistakes. You should give it a little bit of thought. But after that, you need to cut it loose and start living again. So one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and erase this, but one of the things I want to talk about is, I'm going to bring a piece of paper out here. So let's go ahead and move on to something new here. So I've been talking about how it's your individual responsibility. I've even mentioned that nobody can hurt you unless you let them. Now, yeah, people can physically hurt you, and everything I'm saying doesn't, don't get me wrong, everything I'm saying doesn't give somebody the right to hurt you. It doesn't make what the bad words are telling you or the bad things they're doing to you right, and write them off, because what they're doing is wrong, and they don't know how to apply any of this, or they wouldn't do what they're doing. And nor am what I'm saying justifies somebody's actions. Yeah, it is true that we need to fill our own cup at the end of the day, and that nobody can hurt us unless we let them. But that doesn't justify the person that's hurting you. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. But one of the things I want to talk about is, let's just say you have a trainer, a coach. Okay, what makes a good coach, rider team? What makes that really gel? What makes that rider really succeed? For one, is the person coachable? Okay, does their ego get in the way? Because a lot of times that's what gets in our way. You know, you heard that expression, leave the ego at the truck, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a triangle. And we're going to draw our goal of finishing in the top 10. Let's just say we're talking about arena cross series, or we're getting ready to go into arena cross series and the supercross series. So let's just say that our goal is getting into the top 10. What does that take? Let's say you're working with a coach. It takes you filling your cup. It takes you being coachable. It takes a lot of focus. But this is what it kind of looks like. So we got the coach down here. We got the rider down here. This is your top 10. This is your goal, to get in the top 10. What I'm meaning by filling your own cup, and this can apply to anything in life. This could apply to a relationship. I'm just going to say a husband and a wife. Okay, just to kind of mix it up here. So we got this triangle here. We got a rider and we got the coach. They both have the same goal, to make it in the top 10. Okay, look how far the coach and the rider are away from each other. They haven't gelled yet, right? They're kind of about learning how each other ticks. They both have the same goal. But if this rider is not focusing, he will not move his way up. Okay? If this coach is also not coaching and getting and developing a relationship with that rider, he's also not moving up. Okay? So that's actually hurting the situation. But if you have a rider and a coach that are both doing their part, the rider's applying what he learns from the coach, and he's focusing, his thoughts are clear, he's thinking about what he's thinking about, he's defeating fear, he's defeating doubt, he's going to move up closer to his goal. Okay? And the same with the coach. But what I want to point out right here is, what does it take to climb this ladder to get to the top? You see, you see how as they climb, they get closer, they gel more. How you get to that point is, it involves a lot of things. It involves your nutrition, your cardio, your training, and all that. But the most important thing is what goes on up here between your ears, what goes on in your helmet. There is so many things that can keep this from happening right here, and keep your growth stunted. It could be a distraction. It could be you just can't. You crashed last weekend, and all of a sudden now the whoops got you spooked, or maybe a triple has you spooked. So your growth is stunted. Okay. Everything we've been talking about in Moto 1, Moto 2, Moto 3, and Moto Mind 4 is how you get past this. It's all in what you're thinking about. Are you thinking that you can't do it? The can't word? Or are you waking up in the morning a winner and telling yourself you have everything that it takes to accomplish this? That's the difference. The person that stays here and never grows, they do not have authority over their thinking. They do not have authority over their thoughts. And there's only one way you can get to this level, and that's by having authority over your thoughts. You can live a life of defeat. You can let somebody else define you. You can let your own thinking define you. You can let your past mistakes and your past failures define you. Or you can be the other person that takes the narrow path, the path less traveled, the path that requires being a warrior and going to war with your thoughts and saying, no, I can do this because I have everything inside of me that tells me I can. I was born a winner. I was born beautiful. I was born to succeed, not to live a life of defeat. Those are the differences, but it requires you to do that. Same with the husband and wife. You know, when you first get married, right? I mean, you're down here and she's over here, right? You guys have a distance between each other. But as you grow closer together and you each fill your own cup, look what happens. You get closer together. Right here, you're this far apart. But when you get up here, look how close you are. And it's because you're filling your own cup. If you rely on her to fill your cup, you're setting her up for failure, and vice versa. So it takes each of you to do your part, and together you become one. See how you come up here to the top? You become one right here. But if you're each not doing your own part, that never happens. Just like a rider in his motorcycle, he never gels with that bike. He doesn't spend enough time on it. He doesn't spend enough time practicing. But and you could also put rider and motorcycle here. The more time they spend together, working together, learning the feel of his bike, testing, and getting his equipment nailed down, the closer they get and the more gel they work together, the more natural it comes, the more fluid it becomes. So when you hear me talking about it's your own responsibility, but together you influence each other, together you support each other. That's what I'm talking about. But if one person's doing their part and the other isn't, one person's living a life of victory right here and the other person isn't, this person's right here and this person's right here at the top. Look at the distance. Look at the distance. That all changes when you change your thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. Stay tuned for the next series. We'll get a little more into this. We'll continue. We'll try to dive down and get into some of these different elements. You know, I hope this helps. Again, we appreciate your time. You can follow us. Please follow us on our Facebook page, and also we have a YouTube channel. These full videos will be posted on our YouTube and our Facebook page, and we have a Twitter page as well. And you'll always see our 15-second Instagram video clip. But give us a like. We sure love to see you guys on there. So I hope this helps. Thanks a lot.